top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts Bringing Value Home. Trump's tariffs did not come as a surprise to us, VP JAGDEO says. No need for panic. Financial and political analysts gravely concerned over US's 38% tariffs imposed on goods from Guyana. Temporary bridge opened at STRATHSPEY after 48-hour closure. No trucks allowed on railway embankment. And Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister criticizes government's inaction on public education amid ongoing threats from Venezuela. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm ALETHEA Grant with the Thursday, 3rd April 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you need to know this evening. The General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic and Guyana's sitting Vice President says Guyana will engage the Donald Trump administration on the newly imposed tariffs to ensure local exporters do not feel the squeeze. Travis Chase reports.
Now that United States President Donald Trump has imposed a 10% baseline tariff on all imports to the United States and higher duties on some of the country's biggest trading partners with a 38% tariff on goods from Guyana, General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic and Guyana's sitting Vice President JAGDEO said the decision by Donald Trump did not come as a surprise to the People's Progressive Party Civic.
We were anticipating it. We just did not know what form it will take. But we anticipated that this will happen. And yesterday, it came in a particular form. President Trump announced it. So 10% for all countries and then higher reciprocal tariff based on calculation mainly of your trade balances with the U.S.
Speaking during his Thursday afternoon press conference, Mr. JAGDEO said the Guyana government will engage the United States administration on the new reciprocal tariffs imposed by that country's president.
I want to assure all of our exporters that we'll work with them where, as we learn more of the issue, we will be meeting with them, working with them to ensure that they can continue to access the U.S. markets.
President Trump stressed that the new import taxes were designed to reduce trade deficits and bring foreign manufacturing back to the U.S. shores. He also said it would pave the way for tax future cuts. JAGDEO has this advice for local importers and exporters.
There is no need to panic about this issue. I saw some people trying to make it political. Oh, Guyana alone is facing these tariffs. And we're friendly with the United States government. Yes, we have a strong partnership with the U.S. government. But this is part of their policy to deal with their rebalancing of their trade.
President Trump, in invoking the International Emergency Economic Power Act of 1977, said the tariffs is scheduled to take effect on April 5. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Travis. With the United States of America at the behest of President Donald Trump imposing a 35% tariff on goods exported from Guyana, many political and economic analysts have raised grave concerns that this action will be consequential for both exporters and the local economy. Antonio Day has that story.
The United States imposed a 38% tariff on goods exported from Guyana on Thursday, including seafood and other items. The Ghana government, in a brief statement, assured Guyanese that it will work with Washington to better understand the situation. In response to the tariff announcement and the response from the government, leader of the Alliance for Change, AFC Nigel Hughes, shared his views on this new development.
This is not a time for finger-pointing or political noise. This is a moment for unity, strategy, and leadership. That's why I'm calling for a national consultation, one that brings together all political parties.
Economist Elson Lowe, in an invited comment to 90 News, that the Ali-led regime must immediately evaluate the situation and ask itself, why a hefty 38% tariff on goods?
We need to look at what products will be impacted, engage the US to see whether, to see what adjustments can be made to that tariff they've imposed.
Lowe stated, and I quote, "We have to look at domesticated measures because these 38% tariffs can have a significant impact on Ghana's economy," unquote. The economist also pointed out to an imbalance in the percentage of tariffs imposed on Guyana.
Many people have noted that that tariff is much higher than most other countries. So we need to get a clear idea of what is the reason for that.
G.H.K. Lal, former chartered financial analyst at Wall Street, cited serious implications these measures will have on a country like Guyana.
We're looking at the price of goods going out of this country. Going out of this country being more expensive when it reaches America. We are also looking at what could lead to a slowdown of production in this country.
Meanwhile, financial analyst Joel Bagwandin stated that Ghana maintains a common external tariff, CET rate ranging from 5% to 20%. A tariff rate of 40% applies only to agricultural products. All duties are value added, he stated. According to Bagwandin, continuing, as a member of CARICOM, this issue will have varying degrees of impact for CARICOM countries, so it would have to be examined from the perspective of CARICOM as a region, as well as individually in terms of measuring the impact, implications, and potential responses, not necessarily in, unquote. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, the Guyana Trades Union Congress has questioned the 38% tariffs imposed on goods exported from Guyana to the United States. More details from Daisy Richards.
Speaking during a press conference on Thursday, Guyana Trade Union Congress GTUC President Norris Witter said the union has noted with concern the new tariffs announced by the United States of America on products from Guyana. The GTUC president pointed out that this announcement comes with a number of unanswered questions.
Why 48%, the highest tariff for Guyana? This is a very sensitive issue. It is a very technical issue.
The union president then compared Guyana's tariffs to the entire Caribbean.
The tariff imposed by the United States government is the highest, 38% for Guyana, as against 10 and 15% for other countries.
According to Mr. Witter, since the announcement, the union has already engaged a number of officials on the way forward.
We are currently engaging the technical persons, economists, and so on this matter. And soon as we are properly advised, we will be making an appropriate statement.
United States President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced sweeping new tariffs on countries ranging from 10 to 51% in an effort to reduce the gap between the value of U.S. goods imported or exported. Trump believes the move could reshape the global economic order. For AGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Thank you, Daisy. More news after this break. Stay with us.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting's and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back. The verdict is out in the voter registration case, but that will not be the end of that case. You will hear more from Travis Chase.
Now that Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George has dismissed the voter house-to-house verification case, which was filed by People's National Congress Reform Chief Scrutineer Carol Smith Joseph, the matter will now engage judges at Guyana's Court of Appeal. Smith Joseph said she has informed her attorney Dexter Todd that the matter must be taken to the Court of Appeal because there will never be fair and credible elections if persons can give GCOM any address without proper verification. Smith Joseph, among other things, wanted the High Court to declare that the National Registration Act requires not only the verification of the existence of addresses claimed, but also the applicants live at or are connected to those addresses. But the Acting Chief Justice, in handing down her decision Thursday, ruled that addresses claimed by registrants ought not to be verified by the Guyana Elections Commission. Quote, "In my view, the address claimed has to be accepted. The registration officer cannot say to a person presenting themselves for registration that they do not accept the address they're given for whatever reason, and therefore disqualify the person for a first registration or registration of a change of address. To do so would be to disenfranchise persons, which would be unconstitutional." Unquote. Smith Joseph, through her attorney Todd, told the High Court that notwithstanding the amendments to the National Registration Act in 2022, there is cause for concern because some addresses provided proved to be empty lots or abandoned buildings. In some cases, no one lived at the addresses provided. Smith Joseph told the High Court that if such persons are included in the National Register of Registrants, it can lead to a contamination of the official list of electors. However, the Chief Justice said Smith Joseph failed to provide any evidence to the court. Quote, "The applicant has produced no evidence to support the contention that there are persons who have been found not to be located at the addresses stated on their registration information. That is, that they do not reside at the addresses claimed. The evidence produced is based on the applicant's views or perceptions of what is or might be occurring," the Chief Justice said. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Travis. Following a 48-hour closure of the TARIFFS bridges on the East Coast Corridor, a temporary bridge was opened on Thursday morning to ease traffic congestion in the area. Find out more from Tiana Cole.
Minister of Public Works Juan Edil visited a newly constructed temporary bridge at STRATHSPEY on the east coast of Demerara on Thursday. The bridge was built following the collapse of the original structure on March 27, which led to significant traffic congestion along the East Coast Corridor. In an interview, the minister explained that rather than immediately undertaking full rehabilitation, a decision was taken to construct a temporary bridge that aligns with the design for the Sheriff Mahaika Road expansion project.
We will put in place a temporary structure which was done over the last 48 hours. The men worked into the night, and at exactly 6 a.m. this morning, traffic was flowing here.
The minister emphasized that trucks are not allowed on the railway embankment, as 6 aqua panel bridges have already been destroyed due to a heavy vehicle traffic.
If people see a truck, just take their picture and post it, we'll get the police to deal with it.
On Tuesday, the Ministry of Public Works issued a statement announcing emergency measures following the collapse of the STRATHSPEY Bridge and the resulting traffic congestion. The ministry reported that the bridge suffered a structural failure on Thursday, March 27, 2025, after an overloaded truck traversed an already weakened section. Given the severity of the situation, the project team from the Railway Embankment Road Improvement and Widening Project, in consultation with the Ministry of Public Works and the Guyana Police Force, decided to close the affected bridges to ensure public safety. However, since the closure, the ministry has received numerous complaints from the public about severe traffic congestion and major disruptions to daily commuting along the East Coast Corridor. Acknowledging the impact on residents, businesses, and motorists, the ministry moved swiftly to implement emergency measures and restore access as soon as possible. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister Amanzo Walton Desire is once again criticizing the government for its failure to adequately educate and sensitize Guyanese, particularly those in the hinterland regions, about Venezuela's illegal and provocative announcement of elections in Essequibo scheduled for May 25, 2025. Tiana Cole reports.
Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister Amanzo Walton Desire, in a telephone interview with this newscast on Thursday, reiterated her call for a comprehensive public education campaign on the Ghana-Venezuela border dispute. She emphasized the need for on-the-ground efforts in Essequibo to inform residents about upcoming Venezuelan elections, discourage participation, and encourage them to report any attempts to involve them in the process.
So there has to be a collaborative effort. There has to be regional outreaches to all of these villages, utilizing the schools, the toshhouse, all of the government services that are present within the region. There has to be a whole of local government approach.
She cautioned that misinformation is a commonly used tool of warfare and warned that residents in riverine communities could be misled about the nature of the elections. Without proper education, people could be deceived into participating.
So we have to have interventions that sensitize them on the possibilities and the probabilities, as well as set in place mechanisms for reporting and feedback.
Walton Desire noted that during the budget estimates examination, she specifically inquired whether financial resources were allocated for an education and public relations campaign in the regions. The Minister of Foreign Affairs confirmed that funding was set aside.
To see that we have not yet had the rollout of an education and a sensitization awareness campaign is very, very troubling.
She stressed that given President Nicolas Maduro's increasingly aggressive stance, Guyana must have a sustained public education and sensitization campaign.
The sporadic interventions will not do. It has to be sustained, and we have the resources to sustain it.
Walton Desire also highlighted the link between governance and national unity, stating that a government's approach to leadership directly impacts the collective strength needed to counter Venezuela's threats.
We, as the citizens of this nation, we are the nation's first line of defense, and therefore it is important that the government pays attention to its citizens. We are thankful for the support of our allies and the international community, but we cannot outsource the defense of our sovereignty.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
Keeping up with the kids' growth spurts might mean it's time for a bigger fridge. Don't worry, at Quartz, we've got you. Save up to $50,000 on select fridges. Get a free grill or mixer with select stoves and more. Need to upgrade your home? Get smart TVs from as low as $32,999. Plus, shop today and pay later. And make your first payment in 30 days with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home. Offer ends April 23, 2025.
Fruta full of vibes. Sip on Fruta and win groceries for 6 months. Plus, score one of 6 65-inch TVs or over $1 million in cash prizes. Be one of 53 lucky cash and prize winners. Here's how. Buy any Fruta juice, find the code starting with BB, enter online or via WhatsApp. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Fruta Fruit Juice. Don't miss out. Drink Fruta and enter today. Real nice Fruta.
Thanks for staying with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. The Guyana Trades Union Congress says while the cause of the Critchlow Labour College fire was partially determined, the union believes something was amiss. Find out more from Daisy Richards.
Speaking at the Guyana Trade Union Congress GTUC press conference, General Secretary of the Union Lincoln Lewis pointed out that the investigation into the March 22nd fire that gutted a portion of the Critchlow Labour College remains active despite the Guyana Fire Service GFS determining it was electrical in origin.
GTUC suspects the fire may have been an act of arson, given that no electrical wires were found in the area that the fire started.
The GFS in their official press statement saying that the fire was caused by the overheating of the outdated electrical panels, Mr. Lewis pointed out that the reason was never relayed to them.
It becomes now a common feature of our fire department to say everything is electrical, right? We have checked with the assistance of people who are competent in those areas.
The General Secretary added that the area the fire service said the fire began was not completely destroyed.
It's indicative that the assessment is not correct.
It was pointed out that the GTUC is currently finalizing the documents in order to begin the reconstruction process. The fire, which occurred on Saturday, March 22nd, destroyed the entire auditorium, leaving behind tremendous water damage. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Thank you, Daisy. Antonio Day will now tell us that the Women, Peace and Security has activated a plan to address gender-based violence and other forms of societal ills, particularly against women, both locally and regionally. Here is more.
The Women, Peace and Security WPS agenda is geared at bringing together regional stakeholders and international specialists to address gender-based violence and enhance women's role in peace and security efforts. According to a statement from the WPS, the hybrid two-day event convened by the British High Commission in partnership with the UN Women and Our Secure Future brought together key stakeholders from Ghana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados to drive the implementation of a regional WPS approach in the Caribbean and national action plans, NAP, for each country. Her Excellency Jane Miller, British High Commissioner to Guyana, stated, and I quote, "An important part of the WPS agenda is thinking about the issues we have in our countries and how the agenda can help us. WPS is not talking about women as victims or vulnerable, even though sometimes they are, but women as being part of the solutions." Unquote. Bringing women into the center of problem solving is not just the right thing to do. It is also the more effective way of finding solutions, she continued. Sahana Dharmapuri, Vice President of Our Secure Future, proposed that, and I quote, "We want to do things regionally because it goes back to the principle that if we work together, we can accomplish great things." So the discussion today is building on that, fostering regional sharing, ideas, and coordination, which is unique. We do not often get the opportunity to share across countries in the women. On March 27, high-level experts meeting focused on discussions that set the stage for actionable steps in integrating WPS across national and regional frameworks and on the progress and challenges of implementing WPS policies. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
You know, I've been thinking, since I moved over to the west side, this is the perfect location for put up a food stand.
Put up food stand here?
Yes, Officer Bring.
Oh, Granny, you can't put up no food stand here.
Why not?
Because the gas to energy pipeline.
Gas to energy? Why is that?
You can bring gas from offshore to Region 3 that can turn into electricity and other things.
So what about if Granny put it up over there?
No, Granny, listen. This whole area here, from here to the West Bank, is considered the right of way. So nobody can build, plant, dig, or burn nothing here.
But what if I am?
No buts, Granny. Listen, you could get yourself or others hurt. Watch, you see this number here? You call it if you see anybody doing anything out of the way or doing anything they ain't supposed to be doing, like building, digging, or burning stuff on the right of way.
All right, grandson, I hear you.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Regional News. Thousands of Haitians took to the street in Port-au-Prince to express their anger against armed gangs that control nearly all of the capital and surrounding areas, and the government's failure to hold them off. Violent armed groups have united behind a coalition known as Vive Assan and forced over 1 million people from their homes, which has contributed to a freezing of the economy and fueled mass hunger. They are also accused of extortion, mass rapes, and killings. The transitional government, a rotating body of presidential council members appointed nearly a year ago alongside a long undermanned and underfunded UN-backed security mission, have done little to hold off the gang's advances. Residents filled the streets of Port-au-Prince carrying banners while some carried machetes and firearms. The protest began peacefully, but gunfire erupted later in the day, causing a panic that caused crowds to flee. Many critics allege the government's poor performance against the gang's advances is tied to state corruption and even collusion with armed men and their financial backers. The government rejects these accusations, but Haitian authorities have a long history of ingrained corruption, and its judicial system has been paralyzed amid the violence. Brazil said it is assessing all potential responses to the United States' 10% tariffs on imports from Latin America's largest economy, while its Congress approved a bill outlining the framework for trade retaliation. The Brazilian government is evaluating all possible actions to ensure relation in bilateral trade, including resorting to the World Trade Organization in defense of legitimate national interest, the government said in a statement. Minutes earlier, Brazil's Congress approved a bill which still requires a ratification by President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva that establishes a legal framework for Brazil to respond to potential unilateral trade measures targeting its goods and services, including countermeasures such as tariffs. Venezuela's exports of crude oil and fuel fell 11.5% in March as Washington's imposition of secondary tariffs and the cancellation of key licenses to operate in the U.S.-sanctioned energy sector led to delays and cargo suspensions, according to ship tracking data and documents. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration last week announced a 25% tariff to buyers of Venezuelan crude and gas, which will begin this week, and notified foreign partners of state-run oil company PDVSA it would revoke the authorization it had granted to operate and export from the OPEC country. The measures follow the suspension of key license for U.S. Chevron to produce oil in Venezuela and export it to the United States, which last year was the second largest market for Venezuela's crude. The Treasury Department set May 27 as the deadline for the companies to wind down operations and exports. Regular buyers of Venezuelan crude in China and India have suspended some cargoes for late March and April, loading following the announcements. In total, 42 vessels departed Venezuelan waters in March, carrying 804,677 barrels per day of crude and fuel and 341,000 metric tons of oil byproducts and petrochemicals, according to data and internal PDVSA documents. The March average was 7.8% below exports in the same month of 2024 and the lowest since December. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cool.
Trump's tariffs did not come as a surprise to us. VP JAGDEO says no need for panic. Financial and political analysts gravely concerned over U.S.'s 38% tariffs imposed on goods from Guyana. Temporary bridge opened at STRATHSPEY after 48-hour closure. No trucks allowed on railway embankment. And Shadow Foreign Affairs Minister criticizes government's inaction on public education amid ongoing threats from Venezuela. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm ALETHEA Grant. Thanks for watching.